Hi friends, welcome to my channel Muddy Fingers. I am back after a very long time, and today we will be talking about how to root plumeria, how to propagate plumeria from cuttings. So what you can see in front of me is a plumeria plant that bears red flowers. The smell is nothing great. Actually, there is no smell at all, but the flowers look very pretty. And this plant I had grown from a cutting about a couple of years ago, and then when the rooting was successful, I had planted it in the ground, and it's been doing pretty well since then. It also flowers. Besides this, there's another plumeria that I have successfully propagated through a cutting. I will show that plant to you also later. So without further delay, let us start with the process. I have this cutting of plumeria with me, which has been lying around for quite some time, and I've not had the time to get myself to sit down and propagate this cutting. So as you can see, it looks quite dry, which is exactly what we want in a plumeria plant cutting, because it has a lot of milky sap which must dry before we can plant it. Otherwise it may cause fungal infections in the root when you put it in the soil. So like you can see, the base, it has been cut at an angle, not very steep, but still there is an angle, right? And it has dried, so there is no milky sap flowing out anymore. And I have also removed all the extra leaves, the big leaves and the flowers that were there, and all I've left is this new growth. This we should let it be. We should not remove these small ones. I know it's starting to blacken a little, but that's okay. We can see there are new leaves sprouting, and once we put this in the soil, and if the plant picks up growth, if the rooting begins, then these leaves will also start growing bigger. So that's how we know that the plant has started growing its roots. So this part is still green and healthy and fresh and not dried, and this part looks a little dry, which is, like I said, okay, and this is exactly how we want it to be. For the soil, I am using normal garden soil, and I had another plant growing in it, which due to the season being over did not survive, and now I have this pot here empty. The soil is just plain normal garden soil. You can see it's quite fluffy and airy, which is how we want the soil to be. You can also grow this in coco peat. In fact, I suggest that for rooting purpose, it's best if you use coco peat, because the roots get a lot of loose medium to grow and to spread. However, using soil is not a bad idea either. I have not added any nutrients to the soil or any manure to the soil. Whatever manure was added at the time of when the other plant was growing in it is all that is there, and I think it's already exhausted. So this is as good as just plain garden soil, right? And these lumps can be just you can press them between your fingers and just make it loose like that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we make a hole, or just dig out some soil. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to insert the base of this cutting into the plant, and we must insert about 3 to 4 inches. So I think I will be putting this inside about this length here, this length, okay, which is roughly 3.5 inches. I'm just going to put that in. Okay, so like you can see, I have inserted this in the soil and pressed the soil very lightly around the stem, right? And we will now water it. We will water it generously the first time. The This is so the soil settles down, and if there are any air bubbles in the soil, it will come out. So I can now see the water seeping out through the bottom of the pot, which means I have watered it well enough. Now I will let this be. We will keep it in shade, and don't get disheartened. This process takes up to 2 to 3 months, but it will root for sure if you're following the process properly. So now let me show you the other plant that I grew from a cutting. But again, before that, I have watered it thoroughly now. The next time I'm going to water it is when I see that the soil is really, really dry. The top starts cracking, and I will insert something sharp like this and dig out the soil and see if it is dry till maybe 2 to 3 inches below the soil. That is when I'm going to water it. Other than that, you don't need to pay much attention to it. Just let it be, and it will be doing well on its own. And the process, like I said, might take 2 to 3 months, but you will get the results. So now let me take you to the other plant that I grew from a cutting. So this is the one which I also propagated using a cutting. I had just broken a branch off a tree, and I had popped it. I'd removed all the extra leaves and the flowers. I let it dry for a week, and then I popped it in soil and watered it and left it to be on its own. And this plant, this cutting, when I got it, it was only barely 1.5 feet tall, and now you can see this plant is almost 4 feet tall, and it flowers and it bears beautiful smelling white and yellow plumeria flowers, and it looks extremely healthy and is doing very, very well. And this one which I have planted now is a white and pink variety of plumeria. The smell is nothing great, it's not there at all, but the flowers look very pretty, and I wish to have every possible variety of plumeria in my garden one day. So I'm on to my third one now. Also, friends, I would like to add here that I've not used any rooting hormones here for this rooting purpose. So you can also go ahead and do it without any rooting hormones, because the monsoons are going on, and this is the best time to propagate plumeria from cuttings. However, this does not mean that you shouldn't use or cannot use any rooting hormones. It's up to you. But even if you do not have any rooting hormones, just go ahead and plant it the way I showed you, in soil or in coco peat, and just add water, and you will see good results for sure. Till then, friends, I am going to sign out, and will be back with a new video soon. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you are updated about my next video. Have a good day, friends. Bye.